Howdy, 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 my name's Anachi Sasuke. Welcome back to Let's Read the SCP Foundation Wiki. Today, I'm going to be doing the two episodes that were supposed to happen last week on Thursday and Friday. The reason there were no videos for Thursday and Friday is, one, I would have had to have done all 4 videos on Thursday before my weekend started, and 2, I didn't do that because I was having some really bad pain in my jaw. I took the weekend to see if it would make the jaw pain stop. It seemed like it was doing okay. It feels like it's coming back a bit, but I'm not going to let that get me, like, bright and early on Monday morning. It's the beginning of the week for me. So, in this episode, we're going to be checking out, I believe, the element switching pills, the university microchips, the actor, the colonial cetacean, and the trapped winter. And then in the next episode, we're going to be checking out these other 5 things, but I'll get to that. So, element switching pills are safe. I guess they're safe because they're pills, and if you don't take them, nothing bad happens. Stop that. Get out of here. SCP-876-1 through 83, excluding 43 and 61, known collectively as Group A, are to be kept in standard locked storage container. A standard large storage container. I said many words wrong and missed one of them. With 2 locks. Access to one key is enabled by level 2 and higher personnel. The second is only available to level 3 or higher personnel to prevent accidental abuse. Information as to the location of 84 through 121, 43, and 61, known collectively as Group B, is only accessible to level 4 or higher. Class B amnestic must be given when business regarding Group B is complete. Each bottle in Group B must have its own containment cell with individual keys. The containment site has 1.5 meter thick walls of lead. All bottles, whether Group A or Group B, must have their numbers indicated. Let's see. Labels cannot be placed on the bottle. Sorry, I lost my place. 876 is a group of traditional pill bottles labeled data expunged. The bottles are visually identical. If one is damaged, relabeled, or otherwise altered, it will revert to the usual form in blank seconds. If any of the containers becomes empty, one capsule pill will appear inside it. The pill will be 2 different colors, but the coloration is always the same for each bottle. For example, 2 always forms blank and blank samples. Colors observed are red, transparent, orange, blue, green, white, black, violet, yellow, gray, and redacted. When one pill is swallowed, no ill effects are observed. When a second pill is swallowed, however, an unknown procedure instantaneously converts all atoms of one element in the user's body to that of another, determined by the colors of the pills and the order ingested. This usually causes a catastrophic reaction. See experiment log 876, which is its own page. Okay. The second pill will cause this effect regardless of time elapsed. For transparent capsules, a small sample of the element in question can be observed inside, excepting radioactive elements. In those cases, there is no sample. Analysis has shown the colors to follow a simple pattern. If the atomic number of protons, for the corresponding element is divided by 11, and the remainder taken, one can match up the quotient and the remainder to 2 colors. For example, a remainder of 6 will invariably have a purple-sided pill. Therefore, purple means 6. Refer to the table to determine which color means which color. Data table expunged. Thanks! Unfortunately, a red and white pill is indistinguishable from a white and red pill. For this reason, it must be recorded which of the bottles the pill came from. When replacement occurs, the new molecules are usually highly unstable. Spontaneous combustion is common. For combinations that avoid this problem, nitrogen to phosphorus for example, death is immediate due to the complete body chemistry failure. In rare cases, the effects are beneficial, but this is always because of the replacement of elemental toxins. The newly formed element always has the most stable number of neutrons. Uranium extracted from test subject cadavers is entirely depleted. So let's see how long the experiment log is. This is not that long. Okay, experiment 1. Disposable personnel instructed to swallow 1 pill from hydrogen, followed by 1 from helium. Get out of here, you. Instant explosive decompression, spreading mass amounts of dust. No organic material were discovered in the debris, but small amounts of graphite and redacted found. Test 2. Disposable dude is instructed to swallow 1 pill of helium, followed by 1 of hydrogen. No effect. Test 3. 1 pill from argon, 1 from hydrogen. Lapsed into a coughing fit, hydrogen content of surrounding air found to be increased post-experiment. It apparently treats the contents of the victim's lungs as part of the body. Test 4. Disposable personnel instructed to swallow a small steel ball bearing. Following that, they were instructed to swallow 1 pill from iron, and followed by 1 from gold. They immediately collapsed and expired as expected. section of the stomach revealed the steel ball to have converted into a gold-colored ball. This also works for the stomach contents. Test 5. Disposable personnel anesthetized and the stomach cut open. 1 hydrogen pill added to the stomach and observed. It did not dissolve in the stomach acids. Robotic arm used to lift helium pill and insert into the stomach. High-speed camera used for observation. Both pills disappeared approximately 0.01 seconds before conversion and the resulting explosive decompression. Test 6. Pills extracted from hydrogen, then bisected with a laser. Small puff of yellow flames, signaling a reaction between hydrogen and oxygen. Test 7. Extracted from uranium, then bisected with a laser. Geiger counter detected no amount of uranium in the pill. Why does it only do this for radioactive elements? Look into it, Dr. Somebody. Test 8. 1/2 of pill used in experiment 6 welded to 1/2 of pill used in experiment 7. Resulting capsule is similar in appearance to pills from 876 blank and blank. Disposable personnel instructed to swallow the gold ball from test 4, followed by the capsule from 79 gold, and then the new pill. They doubled over in pain and promptly fell unconscious. The Geiger counters detected a concentrated source of radioactivity inside the disposable person, suggesting data expunged. That's certainly interesting. The mechanisms must be slightly different. Test 9. 1 pill from zirconium and 1 from mercury placed side by side, colors aligned. The capsules are visually identical, colors blank and blank. Both pills placed under a microscope. Despite extensive analysis, no difference between the pills could be visually determined. Identities of pills were not recorded, so it used to say, it is not known which corresponds to which element. See experiment 10. Pay attention to which one is which next time. Experiment 10, unidentified pills from 9 were weighed. Significant discrepancy in mass. This is attributed to a difference in density of the contents. Procedure 2. Mercury zirconium amalgam administered to D class. Heavier pill administered, followed by lighter pill. They were then sedated and stomach dissected to retrieve the amalgam. The amalgam changed into a lump of zirconium. Okay. Test 11. Procedure. 1 pill from that, and 1 pill from rhenium, and 1 pill from rubidium, and lanthanum, and samarium, and platinum, and gadolinium, and indium, and hafnium, and osmium, neodymium, cadmium, and vanadium are extracted and bisected with a laser. The samples of these are pure. The platinum sample showed no platinum, and the samarium sample showed none, but contains the less radioactive, showed no 147, but contains the less radioactive 148, as well as other naturally occurring isotopes. All other samples are consistent with terrestrial composition. Apparently there's no upper limit to which the pills define an isotope to be radioactive, currently estimated to be 10 to the 13th years. I'm not a scientist, I don't understand. Now it's time for the University Microchips. Used to be Euclid, but now it's Keter. I wonder what that is then. It looks like a little itty-bitty square on the fingertip. All copies of SCP-877 are to be kept in electromagnetically sealed containers in the Site-19 storage vault. There's a lot of dangerous stuff at Site-19. Containers are to be fitted with radio receivers set to scan all frequencies for incoming or outgoing transmissions. A log of previously used frequencies is to be kept on file. Any transmission from any copy of 877 is to be reported immediately to Site-19 Command. All efforts are to be made to capture as many specimens of 877 as possible to determine any of the object's other abilities. Description: SCP-877 is a set of, used to say 4, then 10, now 12, microchips acquired between 1990-something and 2000-something teen from the cerebral cortices of different small animals, or mammals. Animals found to contain copies of 877 include, but are not limited to, the eastern gray squirrel, the domestic cat, and the western mastiff bat. Okay. The microchips are unmarked except for small stamps readable only by electron microscope that read Alexilva University Biology Department, followed by generation and a number. However, no records exist of an institution named Alexilva University, but it certainly goes somewhere. Moreover, the abilities of these microchips are beyond the technological capability of any known laboratory to create. What is this? Parable of the Wayward Prince. You stop that, advertisements! I'll get back to it. Copies of 877 have a potential processing speed of 3.3 times 10 to the something million instructions per second at blank terahertz and storage capability estimated at blank petabytes. The chips are capable of interfacing with and controlling the motor functions of host creatures, though will usually allow the animal's instincts to carry out routine affairs, eating, nesting, mating. 877 has primarily been noted to take over its host for the purpose of propagating itself, see Addendum 2. The mechanism by which this takes place is unknown, but the behavior associated is well documented. A host animal will approach another animal and immobilize it by taking the most expedient means available to it. The host will bite the creature somewhere on the head, making blood contact between the animals. The original host will release the animal after 10 minutes. Within 24 hours, a new copy of 877 will emerge in the new host. The chip will be slightly smaller, and the generation number will have advanced by 1. It used to say the highest generation number located to date is blank, see Addendum 2 for update. I bet the update's still going to be blocked! And each chip appears to be capable of propagating itself 6 times, implying that the total population of 877 may be in the tens of millions. Recovery log. The first copy of 877 was discovered by zoological researchers at the University of Blank in Tennessee in 1990-something during a typical dissection. Its unusual presence inside the creature drew the attention of Foundation scientists, who determined it to be a first-generation chip. Analysis of unusual energy readings from the chip led to scanning for radio transmissions with a frequency of redacted, leading to the capture of 2 more chips. Instances of 877 began changing frequencies repeatedly, however, having several specimens in captivity made tracking easier. Addendum 2, update log. On blank February 2011, 10th specimen acquired. During testing, a major spike in radioactivity was recorded on several different frequencies. At this time, all instances of 877 in captivity ceased transmitting on any frequency, and all known frequencies for 877 transmission went dead. O5 Command believes the rest of the ships are communicating on scrambled channels and continuing their propagation cycles. Without any understanding of the chip's origins or ultimate goal, the threat level of 877 is to be considered high, and attempts to locate specimens of and materials relating to 877 should be considered top priority. On August 2011, on 2 separate occasions within a week, reports were received of attacks against isolated humans by clusters of animals of different species working together. A single specimen of that, the North American opossum, was captured. Presence of 877 confirmed during dissection, reclassification to Keter requested. August 2011, Keter reclassification denied. On September 2011, another attack involving 877 recorded. 2 Boston Terriers, 4 squirrels, and a garter snake cooperated in attacking an 11-year-old child who had strayed into a wooded area near her home. Upon radio frequency tracking, the 2 terriers were contained. Presence of 877 was confirmed by dissection. Both specimens were marked generation blank and were located deeper in the cerebrum, making discovery more difficult. Mobile Task Force Row 1, the professors, formed and mobilized for rapid response and containment of 877 instances. Later that week, I guess? After reports of unusually violent behavior, the victim of the previous 877 attack was brought in by Foundation researchers. MRI scan inconclusive, though a small shadow was seen in the cerebral cortex. Researchers confirmed that the object was most likely 877 given its consistent shape and location during multiple scans, though definite identification would not be possible while the subject was still alive due to the chip's placement. Later that month, Keter reclassification approved by O5 Command. Because the animals are attacking humans and implanting the humans with the chips as well, and they don't know what the chips do or how many there are. Now, what's the parable of the Wayward Prince? Maria Jones looked at the draft on her computer. Memorandum. From Maria Jones, Director, Records and Information Security Agency SORAZA, to Jack Bright, Director, Human Resources. Incident KB-615, events at Site 38. Director Bright, as requested, all relevant information with regards to event KB-615. On a personal note, Jack, please keep some of an open mind. I'm aware of what your opinion of David was before this, and I'm sure this didn't help. But please try to remember that he didn't intend for any of this to happen, and please keep in mind what this cost him. She saved the draft. She would edit it more in the morning. Relevant articles for background reading. 877, 961, 1043, 1080, 1546, 1893. Oh, it's a whole separate thing. It's a whole separate... The Bellerverse? Okay, I guess I'm going to have to bookmark this for later reading at some point. Let's just put that in the bookmark toolbar for now. Maybe I can find it later. Okay, so next up is the Actor. The Actor is Euclid. promotional image from blank. Efforts to physically contain either 1 or 2 have as yet been unsuccessful. It appears by all evidence that 1 has no special abilities separate from 2, though 2 has shown a primitive sort of willingness to protect 1. Their primary effect can be completely abated by disrupting distribution and broadcast of any media containing 878. Foundation personnel will monitor television, film, or any other media containing 878 for purposes of suppression. This has successfully prevented 878's effect in 78% of containment attempts since discovery of it. Barring this, iterations of 3 can be contained and prevented from harming others. This raises containment effectiveness to 95%. Description: SCP-878 is an actor, alias blank blank, SCP-1, or SCP-878-1, and a prop knife closely resembling a 6th century iron dagger from the blank dynasty period in blank, classified as 2. 1 has never had a permanent role on any television show, nor a role of any real importance in any film. 1 appears approximately once every blank months on the set of various television shows, films, or theatrical performances during production. The crew forgets 1 was ever absent, and alters the script to include him. After 1's appearance, at some point throughout the course of the plot, the character played by 1 will find itself in a situation that brings it into conflict with a more important character. The conflict will develop into blows, which always end similarly. 1 will beat his opponent mercilessly, far beyond both what is necessary to disable the character, and beyond the level of brutality typically expected from the film or show in question. Once the other character stands for the last time, 1 will strike the other character with the back of his left hand, leaving them sprawled on a desk or some other elevated surface. Remove 2 from an unknown location, then plunge the knife fully into the other character's heart. 1 will then turn towards the camera. At the moment his eyes meet the camera, the show will go to commercial, or the film will change scenes. Alternately, during theatrical performances, 1 will simply disappear, with no audience member able to recall where the character went. 1 will not be seen again, and no explanation will be given for his absence. From this point on, the actor who was killed may be identified as SCP-878-3. After the event, 3 will begin to display behavioral abnormalities uncharacteristic of their previous personality. This will begin with minor sex scandals and drug addictions, degenerating within a matter of weeks into paranoia and homicidal tendencies. If 878 is observed at work, 3 can be contained by Foundation personnel, though the symptoms will never abate and the actor will typically find a way to kill either others or themselves. Since most instances of 3 simply disappear from the public eye, a fate not uncommon for less well-known actors, the correlation between 1 and his effects have gone unnoticed by the general public, and a stress-related cover story is given to the actors' families. To the extent that they are a single entity, 878's motives are unknown. No records of 1 appearing in any media without 2 exist, and his real identity is unknown. Proposals for controlled use of 878 as a means of containing broadcast-based anomalies such as SCP-1241 are currently under review. Shouldn't it be Keter if they can't catch him? I guess it's Euclid since they're able to catch the number 3. Colonial Citation Euclid. The containment procedures were revised on blank 2000 something due to the successful capture of 879. Due to the successful capture. Get out of here, you. It is to be stored in a reinforced aquatic specimen tank measuring 30 by 20 by 10 meters on-site blank. 879 is to be kept in a chemically induced coma via intravenous injection. It requires no nutrients outside of bi-weekly hydrogen sulfide injections. All tools that come into contact with 879 are to be fully sterilized, so as to prevent accidental spread or exposure of the entity's pheromones. The former Site-55 and all specimens of 2 contained therein are to be remotely observed by drones, operated from the Foundation research ships Andromeda, Alcatraz, and Black Martin. A 20-kilometer security perimeter is to be kept around Site-55 at all times. Okay. SCP-879 is an oceanic mammal measuring 26 meters in length, 85.3 feet, bearing a strong resemblance to the order Cetacea. The creature has smooth skin, which is... Okay, I'm gonna have to check to see what that is, because I was thinking crabs. Okay, whales. The creature has smooth skin, which is primarily black with a white underbelly, and moves by means of a flute tail and 10 sets of flippers. Oh. The 2 foremost pairs are highly muscular and are still used as rudimentary limbs during breaching. While 879 is toothed, it also possesses a set of retractable baleen. I don't know what that means. 879 exudes a powerful pheromone based in epidermal oils with severe mind-altering effects in humans over a range of approximately 100 meters, as well as the capability of further spread through physical contact. Those exposed to the pheromone will seek out 879 with a single-minded determination, ignoring all but the strongest of outside stimuli. So I guess, like, if you stab them in the arm, they'll go, "Ah!" and stop for a minute. Study of subjects' brain chemistry indicates a state resembling sexual attraction. Upon encountering 879, the subjects will strip themselves of clothing, make physical contact with the entity, and data expunged. Surgical removal is only viable within the first hour of absorption, and has only been effective in percent of attempts. 879 currently has no fewer than 73 individual humans absorbed into its own body, which now exists as vestigial clusters of organs. The subject's neural and cardiovascular systems are linked to that of 879, while unnecessary systems such as the digestive and respiratory have atrophied. This effectively grants 879 a secondary nervous system and the appropriate means to oxygenate it, as well as the functions granted by the repurposing of these grafts. Absorbed bodies fall into one of three categories. Sexual. Grafts will be repurposed into reproductive organs, supplying eggs and sperm to 879 and granting it the capability of hermaphroditic reproduction. Chemosynthetic. Grafts will become organs housing specialized bacteria which feed off of hydrogen sulfide that has been absorbed by 879 and are used as a steady supply of energy. And unspecialized. Grafts will serve no further purpose after absorption. 879 was first seen in 1976 when it breached itself on the island housing Site 55, coordinates redacted, off the coast of Antarctica, and proceeded to absorb the staff present and spawn the first generation of 2. This breeding site has been used for all subsequent generations, with an average 3 to 4 years between breachings. Outside of reproduction, 879's recorded pre-containment behavior consisted solely of seafloor hibernation periods used to absorb hydrogen sulfide from deep water vents, and a migratory swimming pattern contained within an approximately 1,200 square mile section of the Antarctic and South Pacific Oceans. There have been 9 recorded generations of 2 classified 2A through 2I, and a total of 86 individuals living on Site 56 as of blank 2000 something. The appearance of these differs from brood to brood. Earlier generations bear more resemblance to humans, while later ones will more closely resemble 879. All specimens of 2 have shown aggression towards any intrusion upon Site 55 by Foundation personnel, and no individuals are capable of moving themselves at any significant distance away from 55. It is believed that 2 would have reached full development by the 12th generation. Addendum 1. Due to a shift in 879's migration pattern, which brought it dangerously close to Tasmania and the Australian coast, Operation Belly Flop was ordered by the O5 board, carried out by Dr. Blank and Agent Blank. Operation Belly Flop concludes as a success. 879 was brought under Foundation control, but with more physical damage than originally projected. Dr. Blank was put under disciplinary review for causing needless damage to an SCP item. In 2010, footage recorded by drones observing Site 55 shows two individuals, 3 and 6, or I3 and H6 respectively, displaying mating behavior. Results of said behavior remain inconclusive. Operation of Site 55 has been increased, observation, and 5 members of Task Force Gamma 6 deployed to the Black Martin to provide further support. Okie dokie. And that brings us to Trapped Winter. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Okay. Which is also Euclid. A perimeter has been established 5 kilometers from the edge of 880, and non-authorized personnel entering this area are to be detained, questioned, and issued Class A amnestics. Several observation outposts have been constructed in the surrounding area to provide overwatch and to alert perimeter patrols should civilians be approaching. Due to the domicile nature of the effects surrounding 880, the airspace within an 8-kilometer radius has been declared unsafe for flying, with corresponding cover planned blank blank. Description: SCP-880 is a town established in Quebec, Canada. Various signs and documents found within 880s list the town's name as blank blank, founded in 18-something. Retrieved pieces of redacted and redacted within 880 support 19 blank as the date which it was abandoned. A census, document 880-18, found within the City Hall lists the population as blank. SCP-880 has an observed effect extending to blank kilometers covering redacted. All roads and entrances into 880 have been removed or altered so that they join with existing roadways outside of 880. It exhibits several abnormal characteristics, most notably what appears to be a nearly constant blizzard. Due to the similarity of this phenomena to the abilities of 2082, investigation into a potential connection between the two is ongoing, breaking for an average of 1 to 2 hours daily. Analysis of this event has determined 880 experiences no snowfall, and intense winds have produced various squalls which cause the illusion of a blizzard. Despite the potential of snowdrifts within 880, no level of snow deeper than 16 centimeters has been found within or in the surrounding area. Anything entering during a storm or within when a storm begins has so far proven to be irrevocably lost, despite extensive search and rescue efforts. GPS location fails shortly after a storm begins, transmission and rescue lines are cut, and radio communication becomes impossible due to overwhelming interference. Current tallies set the number of personnel lost at 32. Despite lack of occupation, the structures have not shown any sign of decay in the years which they have been monitored by the Foundation. Items discovered within occasionally have large temperature variances compared to their surroundings. Similarly, they show no evidence of colonization by microorganisms. Fireplaces will have glowing charcoal remains present within them, and food left in the open will not rot. This effect appears only limited to SCP-880, and after removal objects are subject to being damaged and to experiencing delay. Addendum 1. On date 11/9/19-something, the second team, see file E8802, to attempt exploration of 880 was lost when an unexpected storm began surrounding 880. Although recovery failed, a line being used to track the team had been sliced on the edge of the storm, and analysis of the frayed end showed evidence of a glass shavings within the wire. Addendum 2. Since initial recovery by the Foundation, the census of 880 has increased by 32. Aha. So, that's weird, and that does it for this episode. So, if you liked it, a like and subscribe will be groovy. If you didn't, you need to do either one of those things. In the next episode, we'll be checking out little people, a machine, extra-dimensional beehive, a shaving mirror, a living vacuum, and, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that's it. Okay. So, thanks again for watching, and I will see y'all in the next one. Later.